This is Joe Gideon's morning routine. Through the use of erratic, non-linear editing and montage, Fosse creates his own sense of time that leaves the audience with a perception of how life is lived, perceived, and experienced. Fosse provides a personal commentary on the spectacle of life through his art, showing how 1970s Broadway work-hard culture and drugs can destroy the passion for life. This type of editing completely contrasts the temporality created by classical Hollywood editing with Fosse's own idea of the progression and suspension of time.
To be on the wire is life. The rest is waiting.
That's very theatrical, Joe.
Yeah, I know.
Did you make it up?
I wish I had. You like it?
Well, it's all right.
It's showtime, folks.
He says, "To be on the wire is life. Think of the wire as time. You have past, which is what you've already accomplished, the future, what lies ahead on the wire, and present, which Alan Heim, who edited Bob Fosse's masterpiece, describes as a continuously unfolding present tense moment. Fosse time." All That Jazz becomes a spectacle of life, not necessarily a logical tale. It's more about feelings and the consequences that they bring. Let's look at the sequence again. When is this happening? What is happening? We get a sense of a complete experience, a complete morning routine in only a matter of seconds. Although this practice is common today, editing like this was unheard of during the Hollywood Renaissance. The art cinema boom of the late 1970s included many films that had complex and unstable space-time relationships. And according to Matt Zoller-Seitz in his video essay titled Fosse Time, we have the French New Wave cinema to thank for that. In Jean-Luc Godard's Breathless, all of the occurrences of a single night are meshed into a montage that lasts less than a minute. We see this occur many times throughout All That Jazz, not just during Joe's morning routine. We see it in the dance numbers, in meetings, even during Joe's hospital stay. But what does this add to the bigger picture?
It's showtime, folks.
These montages are not a linear progression. They are their own solid moments pieced together in the ever-present Fosse time. These moments highlight what Joe is feeling and the consequences of his actions, the sleeping around, the drug use, and his refusal to rest. We're once again on the wire. Joe's life is a dangerous stunt, and one wrong move will send him falling to his death with no safety net, which is his ultimate fate. His fantasy and flirtation with death become a reality. All That Jazz becomes a testament to not only Fosse's life, but the culture of 1970s Broadway. Rather than driven by logic, the lives of people were driven by feeling, by passion. We see this passion in Joe Gideon. We see this passion in his lovers. We see this passion in every person involved in Joe's production. But where does this lead them? To despair. This becomes the ultimate commentary in All That Jazz. This also became a commentary of real life at this moment of time, the 1970s. By this time, the use of drugs, popularized in the 1960s, has invaded all parts of American culture, including the working class. Long-standing taboos were finally broken, and these subjects could finally be discussed in popular American film during this time period, according to Peter Kramer and Yanis Tsioumakis in their book, The Hollywood Renaissance, Revisiting American Cinema's Most Celebrated Era.
Now, that's what I call a real drinker's nose.
And you should know because you're a real drinker, aren't you, Joe?
Yeah.
Also heavy into speed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Also sleep with a great many women.
Real turn-off, huh?
Just the opposite.
Drugs became a hot topic, especially after the release of Easy Rider in 1969. Drugs can manipulate our perception of time, just as time is stretched and compressed in All That Jazz. Joe Gideon admits to using stimulants, and they're even included in his morning routine. His fast-paced lifestyle doesn't even stop when he's sick, as it can be seen in the hospital party scenes. It may suffice to say that Fosse time occurs outside of time itself. It creates a fine line between the knowing and unknowing for its audience. We are everywhere at once. The film itself is omnipotent, yet we cover our eyes and peek through cracked fingers to discover Joe's fate. The spectacle is the gamble. Will Joe turn his life around? We know he won't, but we continue to watch anyway. All That Jazz is a product of over 2 decades of editing innovations. The editing enhances the spectacle. Time is skipped about, paused, shrunken, stretched, absolutely manipulated in every way to get Fosse's point across. Life is precious. Don't waste it.